Great clown bit.
I'm deadly serious. I'm a British agent.
What?
Yep, that's about the same reaction we all had finding out that James Bond was dressed up as a clown.
What?
Jesse Shade here for Awfully Good Movies on behalf of the JoBlo YouTube network. And whatever you think of the recent news of Jeff Bezos and Amazon buying up the James Bond franchise with plans for spin-offs aplenty, they cannot possibly make this franchise any sillier than some of the heights it has reached over the past 60 years. Especially back in 1983, when Roger Moore's 007 was really starting to show his age in his second to last Bond adventure in this classified episode of Awfully Good Movies. As we approach the end of a year that has been jam-packed with spy movies, it's only fitting that we've got a new adventure from the king of spy movies, James Bond, once again played by Daniel Craig in the series' 24th installment, Spectre. And though reviews have been mixed on this one, the Bond series has made it too far through so many highs and lows over 50 years to stop now. And we're here to make fun of some of the lows. Now earlier this year we paid some tribute to the Bond series with a look at the 60s spoof version of Casino Royale. So now let's move quite a few years ahead onto an actual Bond movie. The year was 1983, the Bond was Roger Moore, and the movie was Octopussy. By the time of this Bond adventure, Roger Moore was 5 movies in and 56 years old. So the Bond producers began looking for a new and younger actor to drive the Aston Martin. But then it was announced Sean Connery was coming back to play Bond in the unofficial Bond flick Never Say Never Again. So the producers decided to play it safe and stick with Roger Moore, whose final 2 movies ended up being considered 2 of the worst films in the series. So let's go ahead and take a look at Octopussy, because anyone who knows me knows that I am an expert when it comes to pussy! Isn't that right, Harley? Yes it is, buddy! Yes it is! So in pure James Bond tradition, we get our usual opening action sequence that has little to nothing to do with the rest of the movie, followed by our usual opening title sequence, as soundtracked by this flick's theme song, All Time High, performed by Rita Coolidge. Yes, because when you think of all the legendary singers who have sung Bond themes, you think Adele, Tina Turner, Shirley Bassey, Rita Coolidge. Ah, but I kid this theme song. Any Bond theme that merits getting referenced in Ted is clearly worthwhile. We move as one.
You suck. Get off the stage. Oh, come on. Give him a chance.
Then we move on to the actual plot, which is kickstarted by the Pauly Shore twins here, killing Special Agent 009, codename Bozo T. Cloud. He dies on the grounds of the British Embassy with a duplicate of a priceless Fabergé egg in his hands, and Bond is on the case when the real Fabergé egg is auctioned off to exiled Afghan Prince Kamal Khan, played by Louis Jourdan. Bond tracks Khan all the way to India, where Bond discovers Khan is not only in cahoots with the ruthless Soviet General Orlov, but the mysterious head of a jewel smuggling ring known only as Octopussy, played by Maud Adams, who, by the way, is the only actress to appear twice as a Bond girl in this flick and The Man with the Golden Gun. Now, if you're the type of person who prefers action over plot in the Bond movie, you're in luck, because this plot is so convoluted, you'll lose track of it after a good, 15 minutes. All you need to know is that Orlov has been giving Khan prized treasures from the Soviet Union and replacing them with fakes so that Khan can smuggle the real treasures overseas with the help of Octopussy's troupe of circus performers, but is really planning to set off an atomic bomb on US soil during one of Octopussy's circus performances that will be mistaken by European officials as an accident and leave Europe open to being invaded by the Soviets. Yeah, I know. It's kinda complicated, but thankfully any worries over plot take a backseat to Bond doing what he does best. Shooting bad guys, bedding hot babes, and utilizing Q's latest batch of cool gadgets. It also contains some of the dumbest moments in the franchise's history. And in a franchise that has had James Bond go to space and drive an invisible car, these moments are pretty goddamn ridiculous. We've got Bond meeting up with his partner in India when he hears the guy performing the Bond theme on a snake charming flute. Then you've got Bond duking it out with some of Khan's henchmen in a scene that pretty much covers every single stereotype about Indian people. Walking over hot coals, lying on a bed of nails, sword swallowing. The only thing that this scene needs is for everyone to break out into a Slumdog Millionaire dance while a Pooh from The Simpsons pops up to say, "Thank you, come again." You've got Bond swinging on vines and straight up doing the Tarzan yell. And finally, you've got Bond disguising himself not just in a gorilla costume, but as a motherfucking clown.
General, there's a bomb in that cannon.
Sure, where else would a bomb be?
If you told me the Bond producers were trying to put Roger Moore in the most ridiculous situations to get him to leave this series, I would have believed you. So what, if Bond is a clown, does that make his secretary Mrs. Money Pennywise? You see, like the Pennywise, the clown? But somehow, all this goofiness does not deter from this being one hell of an enjoyable Bond vehicle. For one thing, as old as he was by this movie, Roger Moore still proves to be a dependable 007. Suave, smart, and able to perform action set pieces with the help of a rear projector and his trusty stuntman. And villain-wise, Louis Jourdan is certainly not going to make Blofeld shake in his boots anytime soon, but he's a fine enough villain with a cool henchman who looks like Bela Lugosi. And Maud Adams' Octopussy is not quite as awesome a character as her awesome name suggests, but she's still enjoyable, and it's nice to see a female hold her own against Bond for once. So yes, this is by far one of the stupidest entries in the 007 series, but when you look at all the other movies in retrospect, it's a fun kind of stupid, and not the depressing kind of stupid you'll get in something like, say, Die Another Day. So it's definitely a worthwhile and enjoyable watch for anyone looking to get into the Bond series. And I don't care how implausible this damn movie is, but Bond driving his tire rims on a train track will always be far more believable than Denise Richards as a nuclear physicist. I mean, come on!
I'm gonna be a
nuclear physicist.
I don't expect you to talk, Mr. YouTube viewer. I expect you to get drunk once we have tortured you with the awfully good drinking game. Take a shot or drink every time Bond gets off another wisecrack.
Toro sounds like a load of bull.
You ever think MI6 hires a writer's room to write some of Bond's jokes? Just Bruce Vilanch and a whole bunch of others trying to pitch jokes to Bond? I don't know, I like to think that. You see another henchwoman dressed up like the greatest American hero, or the greatest American heroine, if you will. Anyone says the name Octopussy.
Octopussy? The Octopussy.
And take a double shot when Bond says, well, you know.
Bond. James Bond.
But when someone gets attacked by an octopus, wait a minute, is that octopus fucking that dude's face? Oh boy, I think I know what'll happen to him.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
And on the nudity watch, you do get some near nipple sightings and a straight up butt shot, along with the most blatantly sexist moment I think I've ever seen in a Bond movie.
Perfect image, Q.
I mean, goddamn, Bond. After you do something like that, I think you just drop the whole sophisticated act. At this point, you should just stop wearing pants and have a neon sign pointing towards your dick.
Extreme close-up!
On the enjoyableness continuum scale from Bull to Bruce, Octopussy successfully renews Bond's license to kill and shoots down a 007 out of 10. And no, I didn't just rate it that because that's Bond's number. How dare you question my legitimacy as a critic? Get out of my office! I'm Jesse Schaefer, JoBlo.com, and Clown James Bond will return in The Spy Who Creamed Me, the man with the golden seltzer bottle and license to hunk.
JoBlo, he sure likes to drink a lot. JoBlo won't just movie like the hero man. JoBlo, he's not.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.